You were not meant to be a slave to the grind. You were not meant to trade your life force for money. You can escape gravity. You can unlock your life. You got this. Let's go.
Hello and welcome to Unlock Your Life. This is your host, Jennings Smith. Question for you. Do you have children? If you do, you're going to want to listen up. If you don't, well, maybe you're going to have kids, and a lot of this is still going to apply to you. So I have 4 kids, and my 2 boys are 11 and 9. They're the oldest, and they're wanting to start making money. So Jennings, the third, is 11. McCarthy is 9, and they're wanting to buy stuff. They want to go to the candy store. They want to buy, the new pair of shoes. They want to buy a toy Nerf gun or whatever. And so, Dad, how can we make money? This allowance isn't cutting it. I actually don't really give them allowance. I want them to work for it. But Jennings really is the spear right now. He's money motivated. McCarthy is wanting to go along for the ride and is very helpful, conscientious. And so we're dreaming up a scheme, and they've sold hot chocolate. They've tried to make bracelets, little rubber band bracelets, and sell them at school. Sales were pretty slow. But even with these 2 businesses, they're learning lessons, right? So with the rubber band bracelets, they all wanted to make bracelets. They made a ton of these bracelets. They had like a whole box full of these things. And I'm telling them, you need to get out there and sell them. That's the hard part. That's the challenge. See if the market even wants these bracelets. And as they brought them out, yes, they sold a few. But once they sold a bracelet to somebody, well, they didn't really need another bracelet or want another bracelet. And a lot of people just flat out did not want it. And so the market feedback very quickly was, this is going to be a product that is hard to move. And it's a life lesson, right? We've seen that where people have built products, spent a lot of money, time, energy planning something to bring something to market without testing, does the market really even want this product? And so there's a lesson that's already happening. And what I want to talk to you about today is 5 key things that my kids are learning by doing little entrepreneurial efforts. And these are things that I could tell them till I'm blue in the face, but until they experience them, until they build that metal in their backbone for themselves, they're not going to get it. But these are things that are going to serve them well as they grow. And even working with them, I've grown a little bit. Some things that I were like, wow, why am I feeling that way? That's a weird little twinge of doubt or fear. What's up with that? So let me talk to you about the latest business venture. All right. So 5 minutes from my house, there is a pickleball court. Laurel Street Park, there's a pickleball court just put in. And about 6 months ago, my son and I started to play pickleball, and it was pretty fun. There's always usually 10, 12, maybe even 20 people out there playing pickleball, and there's thirsty people there. And so we came up with this idea. Actually, Jennings saw one of his friends doing this, selling like bottled water and Gatorades and whatever at the park and doing pretty well with it. So we thought, okay, let's go to Family Dollar or wherever. Let's buy some Powerades. Let's buy some tea, like green tea. Let's buy some bottled water. We'll put them in this cooler that Mom already had, so we have no cost of goods sold there. And we'll take it to the park and we'll take it to the pickleball courts and see how it goes. So Jennings and McCarthy forked over $36 that they had saved up from prior business ventures. And I went and bought them some drinks, and we bought, $36 worth of drinks. We did a little spreadsheet. Okay, each Powerade costs us 87 cents. A water costs us 25 cents. The tea costs us 62 cents. All right, we're going to sell the Powerades for $2. We're going to sell the teas for $2, and we're going to sell the waters for $1. We have overhead here. We had to buy a bag of ice. That was $2. We're going to spread that over the 50 drinks we bought. So that's going to add a couple cents per drink, and helping them go through the math, which is pretty simple math, of what is my cost per drink sold and what is my profit. And that's the easy part, right? Anybody can do math and do math on a spreadsheet. It's kind of like analyzing an apartment deal. Doesn't take too long to figure out how to do that. And that's not really where the money's made. The money's made in the execution. So we get the thing packed up, we put it on the golf cart, we take it down there, and as we're pulling up to the park, I get this really weird feeling in my gut, and I'm almost like afraid. Like, I'm a 40-year-old man. I'm actually 41-year-old man. And I'm feeling a little bit weird. And I mean that by like, here I am. I'm like getting my kids to shill these drinks. They're going to be pestering these people that are trying to play pickleball. They probably brought their own water. They probably don't need the water. Now my kids are going to be maybe embarrassing me. I'm being vulnerable here, but those thoughts really did run through my mind. And as somebody that's been in sales to some degree for a long time and done a lot of business stuff, it's like, whoa, why am I feeling that way? That is really, really weird. I don't want to translate or transfer that onto my kids. And luckily, I didn't, because Jennings and McCarthy were all about it. So they dragged the cooler up the sidewalk hill, put it on the court. They had their little sign. I said, okay, guys, like, let's pull out a couple sample drinks, like a Powerade, a Waterade, a tea, and show people our inventory. And they sat there. And, not too many people were buying, and sales were slow. So I said, hey, maybe we should market a little bit more. And Jennings started to go around and ask people, hey, do you want to buy a water? Do you want to buy a Powerade? Are you thirsty? And people started buying. And some people, they would give them $5 and say, I'll keep the change. I just needed a drink. Appreciate it. And the response, by and large, was good. And now some of the people that he went up to, they were politely declined. No, I'm good. I don't want a water. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. And I saw him get rejected multiple times. But at the end of the day, I think they had sold like $20 or $30 worth of drinks. So by the end of day one, they almost had all of their initial capital back, which in my book, that's a pretty good little business. So good return. Now the rest of the drinks that they have are profit, and they can make a killing on that. So what lesson did he learn through this? I mean, number one, the fear of other people, the fear of what are other people going to think? And I'm even thinking about it, like in my social standing with this group of people that I play pickleball with, I was just thinking, man, what if these people think that I'm annoying and his kid's out here shilling drinks and bothering us? And like, what is he, like, poor? Like, what's the deal here? I mean, just weird fearing of what other people think. And that is huge. Now, I know some people, this is a bigger deal for them than others. Some people, it's not a big deal at all. They don't care. And I hear that. Oh, I don't care what people think. BS. Most people care to some degree, and you need to care, right? Or we wouldn't have any social structure here. Like, there's got to be some politeness and structure. But what I'm getting at is a lot of people let that stop them. So this past week, we're doing an apartment deal. It's a great deal, and I needed to raise $600,000. So I need to find 6 people to give me $100,000 to say yes to invest in my deal. And we finished the due diligence. The deal looked good. We're going to close the deal. And I go out and I start making some calls. And it was weird because the first, I think, 3 or 4 people just said no. No, I don't want to do the deal. And for various reasons. Some, they had just invested in something else, or they needed cash for something else, or whatever. Maybe they were telling me the real reason. Maybe they weren't. But doesn't matter. They were not going to invest in the deal. And so I'm getting rejected, and I'm thinking, man, here I am asking people for money. This is weird. This is uncomfortable. I don't like the way this feels. I don't like being said no to. What if this deal doesn't close? What if we don't raise the money? And your mind starts to kind of go in these circles. And that brings me to point 2, fear of rejection. So Jennings and McCarthy walked right into the face of rejection. Multiple people rejected him. And if you're going to do anything significant, you will be rejected. If you want to do anything big, you will face rejection. And if you can't face rejection, if you can't face embarrassment and shame and those internal emotions that you may feel when somebody says, that's a stupid idea, I don't want to be a part of it, I'm not going to do that, well, that's going to stop you. You're not going to achieve what you want to achieve. And is what you're doing more important than your feelings, than your little emotions that are uncomfortable, but they fade, they pass. And when you realize, man, what I'm trying to achieve is bigger than that. It's bigger than my discomfort. And if this person says no, that's okay. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes in their finances or what they've invested in or what they like or what they doesn't, but that doesn't mean that everybody in the world is going to say no to me. It just means that that person said no to me. It just means that that person wasn't thirsty and didn't want to drink. Or maybe that person just brought their own water or whatever it was. Or maybe they just didn't have cash on them. I don't know the reason, but Jennings is facing rejection. He's facing his fear of other people and what they think, what they might think about him. McCarthy as well, and pushing through that. And as an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old, they're already lifting weights in that category so that as they get bigger ideas and take bigger risks and ask people for bigger things, they're not going to be afraid of that. And so this is an extremely important skill that they're developing, that they're building into their metal, into their backbone, that's going to serve them extremely well. So if you do have kids, I would encourage them. How can you help them take risks that are obviously age appropriate? Right? Jennings had to take a risk. He plunked down the $36 that was really his, and he put it into the drinks. And he didn't know if he was going to sell any of them. He put the cooler together with the ice and all that in faith, going to the pickleball court, hoping that it would work. Right? These are things that are going to translate. Do you see where I'm going with this? Because the next step is the thrill of success. And I'll tell you, it is very, very awesome. Because after I got a couple no's, boom, I got a yes. All right, now we got something going. Then I got another yes. Then I got another yes. Then I got another guy that said, hey, you know what? I want 2 shares. I'll throw 200,000 in. And then Yaden calls me. He says, oh, dude, I got another guy. He's a yes. He wants to commit. And bam, rush just like that. Within 2 or 3 days, we got the full 600K raise. And sometimes, it takes longer than that. We've been doing this a while, so we have a deeper investor base. But that thrill of, yes, I knew this was a good deal. I put a whole lot of effort. I sifted through hundreds of deals to find this deal. I flew down there. I walked the property. I ran the numbers. I looked at their financials. I looked at their bank records. We got all the lending lined up. Like, I know this is a phenomenal opportunity. And I got people to buy into my vision. I got people to buy into my vision and come alongside of me. And so as Jennings sells that Powerade for $2, he's like, wow, I know that my cost of this Powerade was 82 cents. I just made $1.18. That's amazing. If you're 11 years old, making a couple bucks, if he can make $10, $15 a day, that's massive. And so by the end of the day, he's got all of his inventory paid off. And I'll tell you now, he's sold all of those drinks. He's made, I think, $70 in profit at this point, which is massive. He's splitting it with his brother, but still, that's great. And he's excited. He wants to go buy more drinks. He's actually improved his inventory. He went out and bought some Hawaiian punches. He bought some LaCroix. He's got more selection now. He's always asking us, hey, Dad, can we go to the park? Can we go to the pickleball court? Can we sell some drinks? Just the other night, Monday night, we went out there, and he only sold $7 worth of drinks. But I told him, hey, it's $7 more than you had. And for where he's at, the amount of time and what his time is worth, $7 makes sense, And so that thrill of success is hooking him into this to see this can work. I can overcome a challenge. I can overcome rejection. I can overcome the fear of, what if this doesn't work? I can overcome the fear of, what are other people going to think? What if they think I'm stupid? What if they think I'm foolish for doing this? I can overcome that, because all of this translates into helping cement that money is an idea. Money is not trading an hour for $7.25 or whatever minimum wage is, or even trading an hour for $100. When kids cement that, like, oh, you want to make money. Well, okay, how old are you? 15, 16. Okay, go work at the grocery store. Go work at Publix or the gas station or whatever. They're going to pay you by the hour. And then they see, oh man, Uncle Sam is taking 30% of this. And by the time I pay my taxes and my Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, whatever, like I'm making $5 an hour. And this is the way you earn money. You trade time for money. And that insidious idea sinks into their psyche, and they never break it. They go for 30, 40, 50 years trading time for money instead of understanding that all money is an idea. You can create money out of an idea. All he did was he had an idea. Hey, here's thirsty people. Maybe they would like a drink. I'm going to go out there and put down the drinks. And if he didn't have the $36 to do the drinks, well, maybe he would have had to have a partner. Maybe he would have had to have somebody with some seed capital of $36 to help him get going. But he had a little bit of money, so he could do it. And understanding that he got people to buy into his idea. Hey, yeah, you know what? I am thirsty. You know what? $2 is a good deal. Yes, I know I could go buy it at Walmart for cheaper, but I'm not at Walmart. I'm here on the pickleball court. This is ice cold Powerade, and I'm thirsty. I need some electrolytes. Boom, here's $2. You make a profit. I'm happy. He's happy. And understanding that I can create money from capitalizing and executing on my ideas. That's the seed that I want to plant in McCarthy and Jennings' mind, and then my daughters as well as they get older, so that they don't get trapped into a fixed mindset of the way to make money is to trade my time for it. That they can create leverage through ideas, and as they grow, they'll see more opportunities and they'll be able to pick and identify which opportunities are worth their time and worth their effort, attention, and focus. But the answer is not trading their life force for an hourly wage. So guys, I hope this spoke to you. Do you work with your kids? Are you doing any little side hustles or entrepreneurial businesses? Because I get it, man, they're a pain. Like I got to go to Family Dollar because he doesn't have a driver's license. I got to take him to the park because he doesn't have a vehicle to get the cooler to the park. Like it's not necessarily the most convenient thing for me to do, but I'm raising children. I'm training the next generation. I'm trying to build a skill in them that's going to serve them their whole life. All right, so if you're doing this with your kids, I want to hear about it. Shoot me a DM, shoot me a message. Guys, my last episode 105, beating shiny object syndrome, it blew up. I've gotten a lot of messages from that. So if you haven't heard that episode, jump back one, check that episode out. But if you're doing stuff with your kids and you're building side hustles, building businesses, building that metal in their backbone and expanding their mind as to what is possible, hit me up. I want to hear about it. Take some time with your kids to help them unlock their life. All right, guys, have a great week. Talk to you soon. Peace.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.